Welcome to the channel. The Kind Fox and the Lost Duckling. In a dense forest by a shimmering lake, a little duckling named Daisy got separated from her family while playing. The sky grew darker and Daisy wildly, nervously unsure of how to find her way back. Nearby, a clever but kind-hearted fox named Felix noticed Daisy. Felix wasn't like the other foxes. He loved helping others instead of hunting them. When he saw Daisy crying, he gently approached her. "Why are you crying, little one?" Felix asked softly. "I am lost," Daisy replied, tears streaming down to her tiny face. "I don't know where my family is." Felix thought for a moment. "Don't worry, I will help you," he said with a reassuring smile. Felix sniffed the air and followed the scent of the lake. As they walked, Daisy grew more comfortable. Along the way, they encountered a big, wide stream blocking their path. Daisy quacked nervously, unable to cross. Felix had an idea. "Climb on my back," he said. With Daisy holding on tightly, Felix carefully waded through the stream, ensuring Daisy stayed dry. After crossing, they followed the sound of quacking. Soon Daisy spotted her family by the lake. She quacked loudly and her mother rushed over, spreading her wings wide to hug her little one. "Thank you for bringing Daisy back," said the mother duck. Felix smiled and said, "It was my pleasure. Everyone deserves a helping hand." As Felix walked away, Daisy called out and said, "I will never forget you, Felix." From that day on, Felix and Daisy became the best of friends, showing everyone in the forest that kindness and the trust can create the most beautiful bonds. Moral of the story: helping others brings joy and lasting friendships. The kind little squirrel. In a loose forest lived a little squirrel named Sammy. Sammy was known for his cheerful nature and his habit of collecting nuts and berries. But there was one thing that set Sammy apart. He loved helping anyone in need, no matter how small the gesture. One autumn day, while collecting acorns for the winter, Sammy spotted an old, frail tortoise named Toby struggling to move up a hill. Toby was carrying a heavy load of leaves and sticks for his warm winter nest. But he would barely make it up the slope. Sammy knew he had to help. Without hesitation, Sammy ran up to Toby. "Let me carry some of that for you, Toby," he said with a bright smile. Toby was grateful and accepted Sammy's offer. With Sammy's help, they quickly climbed the hill, and Toby's spirits lifted. "Thank you, Sammy," Toby said. "Your kindness means a lot." Sammy beamed, happy he would help. That's what friends are for. As the days went by, Sammy continued helping other animals in the forest. He guided a lost rabbit back to her burrow, shared some of his corns with a hungry bird, and helped a family of mice gather straw for their winter bed. When winter arrived, Sammy had stored away enough food, but it was not as much as he had originally planned. He had shared so much that he worried he might not have enough to last until spring. One day, when the forest was blanketed in snow, Sammy heard a knock at his burrow. To his surprise, Toby, the tortoise, was there, along with the rabbit, the bird, and the mice family. Each of them had brought food to share with Sammy. Remembering his kindness from before, "Sammy, you helped us when we needed it," Toby said. "Now we were here to help you." Overwhelmed with gratitude, Sammy realized that his small acts of kindness had come back to him. Thanks to his friends, he was able to get through the winter with warmth, food, and friendship. Moral of the story is kindness always comes back, sometimes in ways we don't expect. Helping others can make the world a better place for everyone. The Tale of Benny, the Brave Little Bee. In a vibrant meadow filled with blooming flowers of every color, there lived a tiny bee named Benny. Benny was smaller than the other bees in his eave and often tested for his size. But Benny had a big heart and a dream to prove that even the smallest bee could do something great. The queen bloom's nectar was said to be the sweetest and most valuable for the hive. But no bee had ever dared to gather it because of the dangerous winds that surrounded the cliff. One sunny morning, as the bees buzzed around gathering nectar, Benny noticed something unusual. The meadow's largest and most beautiful flower, known as the queen bloom, was blooming on the edge of a steep cliff. "I'll do it," Benny declared. The other bees laughed. You are too small to handle the winds." But Benny didn't let their words discourage him. Determined, he practiced flying against storm breezes, building up his strength and confidence. Day by day, he grew faster and more agile. Finally, the day came when Benny was ready. The bees gathered near the cliff to watch. Their bursts filled with doubt and curiosity. Benny took a deep breath, spread his tiny wings, and flew toward the queen bloom. The winds were fierce, tossing him side to side. But Benny stayed focused. He remembered his practice, tooting and waving through the gestures. When he finally reached the flower, he carefully collected the nectar and began his journey back. As Benny landed safely in the eave, the other bees erupted in cheers. They would not believe that the smallest bee had done what none of them dared to do. The queen bee herself praised Benny, saying, "Your bravery and determination have brought us the sweetest nectar. You have shown us all that greatness isn't measured by size but by courage." From that day on, Benny was no longer teased. He became a hero in the hive, inspiring every bee to believe in themselves no matter how small. Moral courage and determination can overcome any obstacle, and true greatness is not measured by size or strength, but by the heart and will to achieve your dreams. The Lost Little Lamp. In a peaceful valley surrounded by rolling green hills, there was a small flock of sheep looked after by a kind shepherd named Eliah. Among them was a curious little lamb named Lily, who loved to explore beyond the fields. She often wandered off, but always found her way back until one fateful day. That day, Lily saw a colorful butterfly fluttering by and decided to follow it. She hopped through the meadow, over streams, and into the dense forest. Distracted by the beauty around her, she didn't notice how far she had strayed. When the sun began to set, Lily realized she was lost. Scared and shivering, Lily pleaded for help, but there was no one around. The shadows of the forest grew longer, and strange around filled the air. Just as she was about to cry, a wise old owl perched on a branch above her said, "Little one, why are you here all alone?" "I am lost," Lily said, her voice trembling. The owl, with its keen eyesight, spotted the shepherd searching frantically on the hill. "Your shepherd is looking for you," it said. "Follow the glow of the fireflies. They will guide you back." Trusting the owl's advice, Lily followed the tiny glowing lights. They led her through the forest and back to the open meadow where she saw Eliha running towards her. Lily, there you are, he exclaimed, scooping her up in his arms. From that day on, Lily stayed close to the flock, but she never forgot the kindness of the owl and the magical glow of the fireflies that brought her home. Moral of the story: even in the darkest times, trust and guidance can light your way. The clever little mouse. In a quiet village surrounded by golden wheat fields, there lived a clever little mouse named Mellow. Mellow was known for his quick thinking and adventurous spirit, but he often got into trouble for being too curious. One day, Mellow overheard the farmers talking about a delicious cheese hidden in a big barren at the edge of the village. The best cheese in the whole world, they said. Miller, whiskers twitched with excitement. He decided he must taste this cheese, even though the man was guarded by fierce cat named Shadow. Milo didn't let fear stop him. Instead, he made a plan. He gathered supplies: a small mirror, a shiny coin, and a piece of string. This will help me outsmart Shadow, he thought. When Mellow reached the barn, he saw Shadow pacing near the entrance, her sharp eyes scanning for intruders. Mellow carefully placed the mirror near the doorway. When Shadow caught sign of her reflection, she paused, thinking another cat had entered her territory. As she approached the mirror, Mellow darted past her into the barn. Inside, the smell of cheese was overwhelming. Mellow quickly spotted the golden wheel of cheese sitting on a high shelf. But how could he reach it? He used the string to tie the shiny coin to his tail. As he ran in circles beneath the shelf, the coin caught the light and reflected it on the walls, creating moving spots of light. Shadow, who had followed him inside, became distracted by the flashing lights and began chasing them. While she was busy, Mello climbed a stack of crates, reached the cheese, and cut a small piece to carry home. Mello escaped the ban with his prize, leaving Shadow still chasing the elusive lights. Back in his burrow, Mello shared the cheese with his family, who cheered for his cleverness. From that day on, Mello became a legend in the village. He taught the other mice that with a little courage and a lot of wit, even the smallest creature can overcome the biggest challenges. Moral, intelligence, and clever planning can help overcome even the greatest obstacles, no matter how small or weak you may seem. The Tale of Ruby Squirrel. In a bustling forest full of tall trees and shimmering streams, there lived a brave little squirrel named Ruby. Ruby was known for her quick wit and her boundless energy, always leaping from tree to tree in search of nuts and berries. One day, as Ruby was gathering corns near the edge of the forest, she noticed an unusual silence. The birds were not chirping, and the wind seems to hold its breath. Curious and cautious, Ruby climbed up the tallest tree to get a better view. From her bridge, she saw a group of animals huddled together, their faces filled with fear. "What's going on?" Ruby asked as she climbed down to join them. "The river is floating," cried Bella the deer. "If it doesn't stop soon, it will wash away our homes." Ruby looked at the rising water and thought quickly. "We need to build a barrier to stop the water," she exclaimed. The animals were hesitant. "But how can we do that? The river is too strong," muttered Max the beaver. Ruby stood tall. "If we all work together, We can do it. Let's use logs, rocks, and branches to block the flow. Inspired by Ruby's determination, the animals sprang into action. Max and the other beavers gnawed down small trees to create logs. The deer and rabbits carried rocks and branches, while the birds bought vines to tie everything together. Ruby dared back and forth, organizing the efforts and keeping everyone's spirits high. As the sun began to set, the barrier was finally in place. The water slowed and flood ceased. The forest was safe. The animals cheered and gathered around Ruby. Bella spoke up. You saved our homes, Ruby. You are not just brave, you are a true leader. Ruby blushed and smiled. We saved our homes together. Remember, when we work as one, there's nothing we can't overcome. From that day on, Ruby was known not just as a brave squirrel but as a hero of the forest who united everyone in times of need. Moral of the story: unity and teamwork can overcome even the greatest challenges. The Adventures of Charlie the Curious Cat. In a quiet little village, there lived a curious orange tabby cat named Charlie. Charlie wasn't like the other cats who spent their days lounging in the sun or chasing mice. He had an adventurous spirit and loved exploring every corner of the village. One sunny morning, Charlie noticed a strange trail of shiny objects leading towards the forest. What would this be? He wondered, his tail stretching with excitement. Following the rain, he found colorful marbles, buttons, and even a tiny golden key. The rain led him deep into the forest to an old hollow tree with a tiny door at its base. Intrigued, Charlie used his paw to push it open and found himself in a magical underground room filled with glowing crystals and jars of shimmering dust. At the center of the room stood a tiny gnome named Dink. Welcome, Charlie, said Dink with a cheerful grin. I have heard about your curiosity and knew you are find my riddle. What is this place? Asked Charlie, his whiskers quivering. This is my workshop where I create magic for the forest, Ding explained. But I need help spreading the magic to keep the forest alive and vibrant. Will you help me? Charlie nodded eagerly. Ding gave him a small statue filled with magical dust and instructions to sprinkle it on flowers, trees, and streams. As Satchel roamed the forest, he felt a warm glow of happiness, seeing the plants bloom brighter, the water sparkle clear, and the animals flourish with joy. When Charlie returned to the workshop, Ding said, "You have done a wonderful job. The forest is alive with magic again. You will always be welcome here, brave little cat." From the day on, Charlie spent his time between the village and the forest, helping Ding and sharing stories of his adventures. With his friends, he became known not just as a curious cat, but as the guardian of the forest magic. The clever little fox. In a dense forest, there was a young fox named Riku. He was not as strong as the bears, as fast as the deer, or as tall as the giraffes. But Riku was known for his clever mind. One summer, the forest faced a drought, and the river dried up. All the animals were worried about finding water. They knew of a deep well in the middle of the forest, but its water was at the very bottom, far beyond their reach. The lion, the king of the forest, announced, "Whoever finds a way to bring water to the surface will be rewarded." Many animals tried. The elephant used his long trunk but couldn't reach. The giraffe stretched his neck but came up short. The monkeys tried lowering vines but failed. Days passed and the animals grew desperate. Riku watched them struggle and thought carefully. One day he arrived at the well carrying a large bag. Curious, the animals gathered around to see what the little fox would do. Riku began collecting small stones from the ground and dropped them into the well, one by one. "What are you doing?" asked the impatient bear. "Wait and see," Riku replied with a smile. As the stones filled the bottom of the well, the water level slowly began to rise. The animals gasped in amazement. With each stone, the water came closer to the surface until finally they would all drink from it. The lion was impressed. "Riku, you have shown us that cleverness is more powerful than strength or size. You are a true hero." From that day on, Riku was respected by all the animals. Moral: intelligence and patience can solve even the toughest problems. The Lion and the Clever Rabbit. Once upon a time, in a dense jungle, there lived a fierce lion named Raja. Raja was the king of the jungle, but he was cruel. He demanded that all the animals send him food every day, or he would hunt them down. The animals were terrified and decided to send one animal to the lion daily to avoid his wrath. One day, it was a clever rabbit's turn. The rabbit was small and weak, but he had a sharp mind. He thought of a plan to save not just himself but the entire jungle. The rabbit reached Raja's den late in the afternoon. The lion roared angrily, "Why are you so late? I am starving." The rabbit bowed and said, "Forgive me, Your Majesty. I was on my way here when another lion stopped me. He said He is the real king of the jungle and wants to challenge you. Raja's eyes widened with fury. Another lion? How dare he? Take me to him immediately. The rabbit led Raja to a deep well in the middle of the jungle. He pointed inside and said, "The other lion is hiding in there, Your Majesty." The Raja peered into the well and saw his own reflection in the water. Mistaking it for another lion, he roared fiercely. The roar echoed back, making Raja think the other lion was challenging him. Enraged, Raja leaped into the well to attack, but he wouldn't swim and drowned. The rabbit returned to the other animals and shared the good news. The jungle was free from Raja's cruelty, and all the animals celebrated the clever rabbit's bravery and wisdom. Moral: intelligence and wit can overcome brute strength. The wise tortoise and the tricky fox. In a quiet forest near a sparkling river lived a wise tortoise named Tara. Tara was known for her calm and thoughtful nature. One day, a hungry fox named Pharaoh spotted Tara sunbathing by the river bank. Pharaoh's stomach growled and he thought the slow tortoise would make an easy meal. Pharaoh approached Tara with a friendly smile. "Hello, Tara, you look so relaxed. May I sit and chat with you?" he asked. Tara, sensing the fox's hidden intentions, replied politely, "Of course, Pharaoh. What brings you here?" "Oh, nothing much," Pharaoh said slyly. "I have been thinking, why don't we race to see who's faster? It would be fun." Tara knew Pharaoh was up to no good, but she agreed. "All right, let's race tomorrow morning. Meet me at the big oak tree," she said with a knowing smile. Next day, as Pharaoh prepared for the race, Tara visited her twin cousins, who looked exactly like her. She placed one cousin halfway along the race path and the other near the finish line. When the race began, Pharaoh dashed ahead, confident of his victory. After running for a while, he looked back and laughed. Tara is so far behind. I will take a nap. Meanwhile, Tara's cousin, who was waiting halfway, stepped into the path. When Pharaoh woke up, Pharaoh was shocked to see the tortoise ahead of him. How did she get here so fast? He muttered and ran faster. At the finish line, the second cousin was waiting. When Pharaoh arrived, panting, he was turning to see the tortoise. Already there. How is this possible? He exclaimed. Tara, who had been watching from the side, walked over with a smile. Sometimes cleverness is more important than speed. Pharaoh, it's always better to think before acting. Pharaoh realized his mistake and apologized. From the day on, he respected Tara and her wisdom. Moral: thinking ahead and staying calm can outsmart even the trickiest challenges. The brave little mouse. Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a tiny mouse named Max. Max was different from the other mice. He was always curious and wanted to explore the world beyond his cozy hole in the wall. One sunny day, while wandering outside, Max noticed a big, ferocious cat named Whiskers prowling around. The other animals in the village were terrified of Whiskers and they always warned Max to stay away. But Max was not afraid. He knew that he had to protect his friends from the cat. That evening, as the sun set, Max heard a commotion. He rushed out to see what was happening and found that Whiskers had cornered a little bird who had fallen from its nest. The bird chirped desperately for help. The Max heard raised. He knew he had to act quickly. Gathering all his courage, Max approached the cat. Hey, Whisker, he squeezed loudly. Why are you picking on that helpless bird? You should be hunting for food, not scaring others. Whiskers was taken aback by the tiny mouse boldness. What can a little mouse like you do? He hissed, laughing at Max. But Max stood his ground. I may be small, but I am not afraid of you. If you let that bird go, I will bring you a delicious snack. Intrigued by the challenge, Whisker paused. All right, little mouse, if you can bring me a snack, I will let the bird go. Max scattered off, racing through the grass and under the fences until he found a stash of sheets in a nearby garden. He quickly grabbed a few and returned to Whiskers. Here, I bought you these seeds. Whiskers, curious, sniffed the seeds and decided to taste them. These are actually good, he admitted. True to his word, Whiskers let the bird fly free. The little bird chirped happily as it soared back to his nest, thanking Max for his bravery. From that day on, Max and Whiskers formed an unlikely friendship. Whiskers learned that sometimes even the smallest creature can make a big difference, and Max showed that bravery comes in all sizes. Dear viewers, please share your thoughts, suggestions, or even your favorite part of the stories in the comments below. I am excited to hear from you and learn how I can make the next video even better.